Hey there, I'm Cole. This is my fiance, Sierra.
Welcome to Tidal Escapes. So I guess a good place to start is kind of explaining to our audience why we started Tidal Escapes.
We thought to ourselves, we have the boat. We typically go on vacations with the boat anyways. And obviously we have all the camera gear to do it. So we figured post about it and see what happens with it all.
And I think a big part of it too is you see a lot of YouTube channels out there where nobody really explores like places to stay on the water.
Trying to gather all this info to make a vacation work, from where do you park the truck and trailer? Is there space for a trailer? Keep the boat there? Is there enough space to park it? Trying to make everything work, let alone making dates work and getting the time off of work. We understand how hard all those variables are, and that's why really we wanted to share this trip and hopefully future other trips. So for our very first video, we figured we had a trip planned to Indian Rocks Beach, which is just outside of Tampa Bay area. For us, we're a little bit north of Daytona Beach here on the east coast of Florida. So it's not much of more than really like a 2.5, 3 hour drive. So it's pretty easy, but still enough of a trip where, you know, planning's needed and you have to figure out the whole trip start to finish kind of without being there. The hotel/resort that we stayed at was a Holiday Inn. Just happened to have a marina in the back side of it. From there, awesome place. It had a water park that was on site, another pool, lazy river that was part of the water park, 2 slides.
Part of the reason that really drew us to going to Indian Rocks Beach was there was bike rentals. You can rent a boat with the family, whether you're staying with friends. They have a mini golf course that's under the cover of the hotel, so it's a great place to beat the heat. But just a lot of things, no matter what you like to do, there's pretty much something for everybody.
For the room that we were in, it ended up being beautiful. It was a 2-level scenario, so we had a kitchenette on the bottom, living room, dining room. Then you go upstairs and it was kind of like in a loft area. You had the master bedroom. There was a jacuzzi tub, which was pretty cool to see in a hotel, with a balcony access to be able to look out over the marina. Super cool, unique, like kind of old Florida vibe. For the boat ramp that we used, about 5 miles down the street from the hotel, was a county boat ramp of Pinellas County. It was a super clean facility that also had paid parking. So what that would mean is for some reason you didn't use the Holiday Inn that we stayed in and you stayed somewhere else. We did notice there was a few people that left their truck and trailer with the boat on it, all as one setup parked there. This would be a great resource if you did maybe like a smaller condo unit or something where it didn't have the parking. One of the biggest moments that we were stressed out on in the trip was going to be the factor of getting the boat in the slip for the first time. I knew upon coming into it that it was a fixed dock. From there, I had to make sure that, you know, I had plenty of line. We did some back knowledge on obviously how to tie our knots, how kind of some of the lines need to be positioned, because personally I have zero back knowledge of keeping a boat in a fixed dock with a tide swing, making sure obviously I wanted to get all that right. So that was a big key point of the trip. And on day 1 we managed to get the boat in the slip super easy. There wasn't any drama to it. Took a little bit of a back and forth to get the lines perfect. What we ended up using around the pilings, I believe, was 2 round turns and 2 half hitches. That made the lines really easy because the lines were fixed. Once I had it dialed, the loop end of the dock lines were on the cleats on the boat. So that made it easy for me and Sierra. When we came, went, all that we had to do was just slip those eyelets on the lines. We just had to slip those in and out of the cleats.
We found what worked, and the stress kind of lessened up a little bit as the trip went on.
In terms of parking at the hotel, that was probably one of the best places that I think that we've ever stayed at in terms of plenty of room for truck and trailer. The staff were completely okay with it, and were super helpful there. On night one, we ended up hitting a restaurant called Cabby's, which was right on the Intercoastal. Was one of the only places that we found that surprisingly had boat access, but you know, sadly, I think there's still some hurricane cleanup that they're doing from the year prior, the 2 hurricanes that hit on that side. So there should be more to come in the future there, but in terms of right now, that was the best place that we could find to pull right up. Food was pretty phenomenal, drinks were good. The fishing inshore was pretty diverse. We had areas where we were fishing against, you know, mangrove, cornered points areas with flats all around it. Super neat and very beautiful areas. Tons of docks to hit, bridges obviously to fish, jetties. In terms, you don't really need a big boat there to, you know, go and explore a lot of these areas, which I thought was really, really neat. If you do have a bigger boat, a little bit north, there was Clearwater Pass, which is the first inlet. And I believe that was about 12 miles up north. So that made it super easy to just be able to run up and head out west and into the Gulf of America, with all kinds of either natural ledges that you can hit or artificial reefs. That we hit were Hurricane Pass, which is up a little bit further north, the next inlet up, which is in an area called Dunedin. We understood how to correctly say that from a local bartender, so shout out to that guy. We were calling it Dundon, and apparently that's incorrect, so it's done eating, as if you're done eating. So
easy enough.
From there, Hurricane Pass was beautiful. We scored getting there at a full high tide. The water was absolutely crystal clear, and other than the Bahamas, I think that was probably easily one of the best days that I've ever experienced on the boat, with some super clear water. So that area was on definitely the top of the list of what to go visit. For a beachy area that we hit on the boat, one of them was going to be Honeymoon Island, which is north out of the Clearwater Pass out in the ocean and run north. There was a few other people anchored up, so we gave that a whirl. The cool thing is Jimmy Iguana's restaurant right there, linked to the hotel. They had live music, a bar, full menu. They did do a catch and cook. That was an awesome feature to have, because when you're on vacation, sometimes you're not sure if you're going to be able to keep the fish long enough cold to be able to get home and eat it. So being able to eat that right there on site was a pretty awesome thing to have. ways that you could split the trip up, whether or not you comboed it or you preferred one or the other. For us, we ended up fishing, I believe, 2 of the days ourselves. The cool thing is right on that marina strip, there's a few various charter guides that seem to be extremely busy. I noticed on like the Clearwater offshore fishing Facebook groups, a lot of those guys were present in that. They're catching a lot of good fish, and they seem to be really good options to go out with.
So we did a little date night halfway through our trip. We checked out TJ's Cafe, which is an Italian cafe. So we have a lot of favorites where we're from. So when I scouted this out, I was super excited to try it because it did look like one of those mom and pop Italian places. And sure enough, it didn't disappoint, did it? From start to finish, from the cocktails to the pasta, you got stuffed grouper. It was a solid 10 out of 10.
The stuffed mushrooms, that was phenomenal. One of the things that we didn't take advantage of that I feel like we learned about it kind of in the tail end of the trip was because most of the area around the hotel is like 30 mile an hour, there was a lot of golf cart rentals, and that made it pretty unique to be able to just rent a golf cart, hop on it. Makes parking way easier, and at the end of the day, like, you didn't have to go far in a place that there's faster speed zones. So the golf cart was a cool thing that I think maybe we'll do next year if we end up going back. If you have a similar either hotel, VRBO, Airbnb, etc., condo, that it's somewhere that we can take the boat and do a similar review on, we'd absolutely love to do that and do more of those. All of our contact info is down below in the description. Feel free to get in hold of us, and we'd love to get something together. We appreciate you stopping on in and following us on our first, new journey to us. This is a little outside of our comfort zone, but it's been fun. Obviously, shooting all of it is in my back pocket. It's nothing new for me, but obviously us being on camera is a new thing. So we hope that you enjoyed it. Hope that it was super informative, and that you can take all of this and use it within your own trips.